Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett. We want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Saturday. Hopefully, you are out and about enjoying this absolutely beautiful weather. It is a wonderful weekend if you are out enjoying the Dogwood Festival. I was out there last night speaking with some folks right before everything wrapped up, just talking about how they were glad for some nice weather and just glad for an opportunity to be out and about. Now, we have our crews all over Metro Atlanta already today. We do want to go ahead and tell you some of the local stories that we are following for your weekend. Now, one of these stories, this is actually something that we have been following here at Atlanta News First, and if you want to read up a little bit more about it, we have plenty of resources for you to do that. If you go to our website, atlantanewsfirst.com, you can also look at our free app as well. But this is in regards to the Riverdale fire station. There's actually going to be a meeting today with community members there, and people are going to be discussing their concerns. This after discussions have led to the future of fire services in the city. We actually have a new reporter here at Atlanta News First, Blake Devine. He is headed to that meeting, and he's going to have the latest tonight at 10 and 11 on Atlanta News First. But in the meantime, I do just want to give you a little bit of background here. So this comes after they had just called a special meeting recently with the mayor and council to discuss fire services. And at least one of the councilmen there is very opposed to eliminating its fire services, which is actually one of the talking points here. Currently, Riverdale has two fire stations, and they cover 4.5 square miles. But according to the Clayton County Commission chair, Riverdale city leaders have reached out to the county about having them take over fire services within the city limit. People in Riverdale have voiced their concerns at county commission meetings, saying that they're worried about the response times if the county does indeed take over. So as it stands, there are 14 Clayton County fire stations compared to the only two Riverdale stations. And the two Riverdale fire stations are less than 2 miles from a Clayton County fire station. So this has generated a lot of discussion. There are community members that are concerned, as we've said, about those response times. So the city, the county, hoping to reach a good agreement there, and there is a town hall style meeting, if you will, that is happening today. We are going to be staying on top of that. We will bring you the latest from what people say, but we want to keep you updated on any and all concerns that are happening as far as safety, as far as your home is concerned, your family is concerned. And so this is going on, like we said, with Clayton County leaders, with City of Riverdale leaders, and with community members. And they just want to discuss the future there and what this could mean and what it could look like if Clayton County does ultimately take over the fire services. Nothing has been decided yet, but that is possibly in the works. But it has generated a lot of discussion, and we are going to be following that more closely. This next story is another update to a very sad story that we've shared with you on Atlanta News First. This is a bakery owner who was found shot to death outside of the family bakery that he owned in Lawrenceville, and in an apparent robbery. That happened, and our reporter Bridget Spencer, she is actually speaking to the sister of this man today, and she is announcing their plans to ultimately reopen that bakery. There had been a lot of discussion on what they wanted to do if they wanted to reopen, but our reporter Bridget Spencer says in speaking with the family, they ultimately decided that this is the way that they wanted to honor his legacy moving forward. She's going to have that exclusive interview tonight on Atlanta News First, but I do want to give you, again, just a little bit of background here on the story that we're talking about. But Irvin Fejic's family, they have just been distraught over this. The family is from Bosnia. The 37-year-old was found shot to death outside of the family-owned bakery in Lawrenceville. This was a couple weeks ago now, and it didn't take very long for Lawrenceville police to arrest 38-year-old Leroy Taylor for murder and armed robbery, among other charges. According to his family, Fejic only had about $50 on him when he was killed, and he gave this alleged robber the money, was cooperating, and his family just cannot begin to understand why he was ultimately killed as a result. And now, not even just his family, but the community really coming forward, leaving flowers, notes, as you can see, just for a community loss. This was a local bakery, a family-owned bakery there. And since then, ultimately, the family has decided that they are going to open their doors once again. As far as the timeline on that, we're not sure yet, but again, reporter Bridget Spencer, she's going to be speaking with this man's sister. The bakery had been open since 2007, so pretty significant amount of time. And the last we spoke to them, they just weren't really sure what they were going to do, but they did start an online fundraiser, helping this man's wife and his daughter. He was the main contributor for his family. So moving forward, they're going to discuss their plans, discuss what it will look like when they reopen, and when that will be. So you can tune in tonight on Atlanta News First or atlantanewsfirst.com. Bridget Spencer covering that story for us. All right, taking you back out here live to discuss tax season. It is that time. It is unfortunately that time. But as a result of that, the IRS has had to hold extended hours at their tax assistance center ahead of that Monday deadline. Lines were extremely long today. They wrapped around nearly 2-3 blocks. Our reporter Brittany Ford was speaking to people in line, saying that they were concerned about these long lines, that this was sort of the last missing piece that they had to do in order to ultimately find out about their refund. Here's what people had to say.
This was the line in front of the IRS Tax Assistance Center Saturday. People wrapped in blankets in lawn chairs as early as 6 a.m. ahead of the 9 a.m. opening.
The line is around 2 corners, 3 corners. This one, 4 corners. It's 4 corners long.
The IRS held the extended hours Saturday ahead of Monday's tax deadline. No appointment needed. People were able to get one-on-one help from an IRS representative. But Atlanta News First learned many of them didn't come by choice.
All I need to do is verify my identity, and that's it. It's a tiny process, but still in all, to wait this long.
Almost everyone we spoke to had already filed their taxes, but received an email or letter in the mail similar to this, stating they needed to come in person to verify their identity before their refund could be released.
Kept calling the phone numbers. It's such a hassle just to get through the phone numbers and get information about what's going on and what you need to do. I finally got the phone number, said I could verify over the phone. Try to verify over the phone. No, you have to come in person.
Frustrated and fed up.
The last day to file your taxes is April 15th. It's Monday, right? But guess what? We still gonna have to verify after Monday.
Dozens of people in line had no other choice but to wait.
Yes, I want my money. I work for this money. It's my money and I want it now.
Hopefully it's over soon and everybody get their money, because it's time to get paid.
In downtown Atlanta, Brittany Ford, Atlanta News First.
Hey, you can see those lines out there. Definitely not the way people want to be spending their Saturday. But again, we're going to have more on all of this tonight. We hope you'll join us at 10 and 11 on Atlanta News First. We just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on some of the stories that we are working on now. Keep in mind, this is a fluid process. So as we get more news, as these stories develop, as we gather more information, possibly sending our crews out to breaking news later, we will continue to keep you updated. In the meantime, you can join us again here on the First Alert Desk tonight at 8. That is when First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna is going to have a weather update. But of course, you can always find your full forecast if you join us tonight. And that's very important if you are headed out to the Dogwood Festival, for example. Keep in mind, if you are still looking for some things to do for your weekend, they are going to be out there tonight until 9. And then tomorrow, you can get back out there if you would like to from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Some quick notes: if you do go out to the Dogwood Festival, MARTA is probably going to be your best bet. They say you can go to the Arts Center stop, or you can stop at the Midtown 10th Street location. Either way, be prepared to walk a little bit. We parked our car in a parking garage that was right near the Botanical Gardens as well as Piedmont Park. But keep in mind, it did cost $35 in order to do that. So just be prepared. In order to do that, we have a story on atlantanewsfirst.com. We list out all of the different parking locations with maps to those locations, a great resource if you are headed out there. Going on until 9 tonight, from 10 to 6 tomorrow. Lots of great music, food, and some great weather too. Let's leave you with a live look over Truist Park. How about that? Not a cloud in the sky, crystal clear, absolutely beautiful. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, Take care, and we'll see you tonight on Atlanta News First.